Hello everyone, and this is exciting because we're on part 2 of this Peony painting today, and I will be posting this later to my Patreon page and to the subscription members of this channel. So if you haven't already become a member, you can do so for 99 cents a month, and I put quite a few little tips and tricks on my Instagram channel. So here is what we're looking at. Here is this reference photo here, and last week we kind of just blocked everything in, and then this week we're going to be using all the gel mediums to make the paint thick and give it a texture when it dries like oil paint, so it looks really cool. Here's what I'm using today. This is just the gloss. It's like butter. It's really cool. And I've kind of, to save time, I pre-mixed this quinacridone red. I pre-mixed the gel into kind of 3 different values. So I just mixed the gel and quinacridone red, and then the gel and a little bit of, this one here has a little bit of orange in it with the quinacridone red, and a little bit of white, and then the gel, and this is just gel with white, and this is gel with some yellow ochre, and this is just some more white in that pile there. So just to keep it simple, when I start adding it to my Peony, I want it to just be simple for everybody. So if you have sort of your 3 different values, you can really do a lot with that. And then of course I have my usual colors out here. So I'm mainly using golden paint because it has a lot of pigment, and if you want to get the most results, you want to use a paint that's good quality. If you're looking to save a little bit of money, some of these paints, the Liquitex, are also really good. And I get most of my supplies, just because it's convenient, I get most of them at Michael's. All right, so a couple things. You can apply the gel gloss with your paintbrush, or you can try using a palette knife. So I'm just going to show you kind of both what it looks like. So this is a real like soft gel medium. There's harder ones. I kind of like the soft one because once they start getting too hard, it gets hard to even mix the paint in. Some of them are so you can make some marks using your palette knife. Kind of causes you to make marks you wouldn't really make usually, which I like. So you can kind of do it that way, or just get a paintbrush and kind of scoop some on your paintbrush. So I'll take a little bit I'll start off with the darker color here, and I'm gonna put some where it is darker. I'm just gonna add some marks, and you've kind of got like already got everything sort of laid out when you do your underpaint like this thin, and then when you add the gel, you're just adding like all that texture on top. So you can see already how it gives it that look. And it's just really fun to do if you just enjoy, like I do, just making, like playing around with paint and color. It's just sort of a fun, actually kind of fun thing to do. Kind of have to overlap on that green a bit. And then I'm going to get some of the kind of the mid-tone version. And a lot of the trick of using the gel is to make sure you add enough paint to it, because it can look like kind of transparent if you don't add enough paint. It'll look like it's gonna dry with a lot of color, but then you kind of have to sometimes go back and revisit it. So you get used to using it after a while. I haven't played around with it for a while, but I thought it's just, there's so many fun things. I teach a lot in oil paint, but there's a lot of just really fun things that you can do when you use acrylic paint. And so this is one of those things. And what's really neat about it is it'll be like, for me, it'll be dry in like an hour. So it's kind of like ready to go. So I'm just, I'm looking at my reference photo and I'm just sort of adding some of those little details to my flower now. Which is, this is the fun part, So I'm if you're just tuning into this, I started this painting last week, and this is the follow-up, and we're painting these peonies, and I'm using this gel gloss medium, which I mixed all these piles up. So if you're just joining, thank you for joining, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can see other videos like this when I go live and everything. You'll get like a notification. And also I do post this usually to YouTube too. So subscribe to my YouTube and then you'll get to see the follow-up as well. So I'm just kind of adding in some more paint. And these white flowers here, I wanted to show you quickly what I do to glaze, because we're talking about gel gloss mediums, but we're also talking about how we can quickly transform the depth of your painting with a glaze. So I've also got some pre-mixed green you'll see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of this golden liquid glazing to my little palette here quickly. And then I'm going to show you. So I put a little dab of that out there. And then you just get your brush, and to create like a shadow color, I'll use a little bit of ultramarine blue. So you'll notice I literally just used a tiny dab of it on the corner of my brush. And now you can go back to your painting and you can glaze it on, and you'll see it hardly, because it's so transparent, it hardly changes it. So if you want to change it some more, you can just add a tiny bit more of that blue. And it's so transparent, you get these beautiful brush strokes that just create, sets those flowers back. So you can also do the same to the pink flowers in certain spots. Down here you might want to glaze on some of that ultramarine blue and the glaze to some of these flowers that are in the shadows there. Just adds a really great effect. So something else to try. So that was just the liquid gloss glazing liquid. I use gloss. You can get it in matte colors too, but I prefer gloss because I like my paintings to look kind of shiny versus like flat. All right, so now I've got this mixture here is the gloss gel, and it's got a little dab of yellow ochre in it and the white. So I want to just kind of put on some nice thick dabs of that to my white peonies, just because I want the effects of the gel to be consistent, like in my painting. I don't want just the pink flowers to be, you know, coming out. I want the whole thing to kind of have a little bit more of a texture to it. All right, and then you can even take some of that white yellow ochre mixture and just lighten up the pink with it a bit more, and you can get a little highlight there. Peonies are just so much fun because there's you just have so much room to play. You don't have to be exact when you're painting them. So I really like that. This is a lot of fun painting these. And then I've kind of got ready for you guys this morning, and I mixed up it, like I say, with the texture. If you have all this texture on the flowers and then your leaves are all flat, it's going to look kind of boring. So I mixed up some gel medium gloss with the sap, and I added also a little bit of the cad yellow light to my sap green, which I really love this green. It kind of has this, you know, gold color to it. Then I'm going to add some of that now to the green, so you don't have flat leaves. So I especially want to get the ones that are in the front here, and then the ones that kind of go over top of the peony here. I really like that. So those will really stand out, and it makes sense because this is kind of your focal point. Get a little bit of that light green, dab some of that in there. And it's hard to see, but it just is so much fun to see how that texture goes on. It's like, it's very satisfying, as they say. So, get some more of the dark green. And it's just really fun because you kind of just go over top of where you put your paint, almost like before last week. I'm just kind of going over with these nice thick brush strokes. And I really like this painting. So we did this background is a combination of this gloss liquid medium and a little bit of ultramarine blue and some transparent brown oxide. And I created this kind of gloss, real thin, transparent layer of this gray. And you could just leave it like that with these flowers. I think that it looks kind of cool. Or you could do a little bit of background that kind of matches it, but maybe has a bit more color. Because backgrounds are tricky, you know. You don't want to overdo it. But sometimes I like to either do that, or I'll take a bit of like a petal or something. So we could take like one of those white petals and add a little bit of cobalt blue, so it's not as bright as these. So just sort of, and then just sort of, you know, kind of have like almost just like the effects of some petals coming down, just to bring in some of that color. And I kind of like doing that. It just adds more kind of action, you know, in the painting. And you can always do like a pink, bit of pink here and there too. And I'll sometimes take a bit of the pink and just draw a bit of that into the green so that there's a little bit of that color in the rest of the green a bit, so it just kind of makes sense. And then I want to go back in the center here because this is all dark, but this is still pretty flat, so I'll go in and get a little bit of that thicker, dark quinacridone red and just put a few marks in there, just so that you don't have this kind of empty spot there. And could put a few darker marks a little bit in the flower again to separate some of the petals. That's why I really I kind of like starting off with that mix, just so that I have, I can leave it, I can have the option of leaving it the way it is. Now if you want to add a few bits of that color but make it textured, I can take some of this has got white with the gel medium in it. You could take a little bit of that white and just mix up the base color again, which is ultramarine blue, and a little bit of that transparent brown oxide. So now I have a thick version kind of it. So you could go in and let's just see, where would I put it? Maybe you could put some of it in the background. So that you have, if you wanted to, add a color to it. Just don't do what I did and get the green mixed in. But that's an idea. I could have left it the way it was, but it kind of looks nice to have something painted on, and kind of lightens it a little. So those are just some more things, more thoughts on what you can do. I'll show you, because it's hard for you to see on the Instagram, but you can see how much texture is on there now. So it looks like a complicated painting, but if you go back and watch part 1, it's only a half an hour. It's on my YouTube channel right now, and that's on there for a little bit, and then I'm going to just keep it for my Patreon and my subscribers on Instagram here. And you can watch it. It's only a half an hour, and the rest of this only, as you can see, only took 20 minutes. So, and this is a 12 by 12 canvas, so you get quite a bit done in a short period of time, and it's a lot of fun. So I hope you try it out, and if you have any questions, and if you want to paint with me next week, I'm going to be doing probably another sunflower like this with some blue hydrangeas, and then we'll do it in acrylic and use the gloss medium again. But you can do this. I use the same colors in acrylic as I do in oil, so that you can also use, quinacridone red and oil, and start your painting the exact same way. Only difference is with oil, you don't need to add the gel medium. You just add more paint, which is fun. So yeah, I'm really glad you guys could join me, and it's been really fun. So I hope to see you again next week. Don't forget to subscribe to my Instagram and my YouTube. And thanks so much, and have a great Tuesday.